You have to announce what the meeting is and where the location
right now. Okay.
Well, when we start.
Okay.
Mary, we're ready. Whenever you are.
Okay, the sponsor. We're ready.
Yep.
Okay, we can go ahead and start.
Do we have anybody to Zoom?
There is 12 people.
Wonderful.
Wait. Come on, guys, start. Why would you start?
Yeah, get it going.
Wait, yeah. Let me know when you're ready, Andre.
Hello.
Okay, Andres, may I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. It's June 11th. It's the Council of Fort Lauderdale Civic Association's general membership meeting. My name is Mary Peliquin. I'm the president for now. So welcome, and as we always do, we're going to stand up, all those have braved the weather, to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge right there. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everybody. First thing I do want to say is, if you all can see it, these are our 3 sponsors so far. And we seem to have a lot in the tunnel coming on the way. So I expect these will have like more and more logos like this to add to our sheet here. And I think the first 2 is very important to note, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but they, Vanessa, our District 4 rep, went out and solicited for those. So she's pretty good about that.
Wow.
That bottom one, that family, that's a nice family. Don't worry about them. So, okay, now the first thing on the agenda, we're going to talk to our city manager. If he comes, he might not come. Got a lot going on and it's pouring down rain. And well, if he comes, then we'll just stop what we're doing. So having said that, we have 2 of our finest and some of my favorite sergeant and officers here. And if you guys want to go ahead and take the floor, I will move out of your way.
Sure. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well and staying dry. This month we're here as we always are, just to take many issues that you guys see going on in the neighborhood and the community that you can bring forward to us, so we can send those out to the appropriate places in the department so we can start working those for you. But this evening, one thing we have to give out is on June 20th at 11:30 a.m. The police department's taking part in the Harvard Bloomberg what's it called again? Like the Future City Initiative. So really good. Basically what's going on is we have grad students from Harvard working with the police department to try to come up with innovative new techniques and ways to engage with the community and better solve crime. And as part of that, there was 2 citizen engagement sessions. One of them was on May 28th. The last one is going to be on June 20th, like I said, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Fort Lauderdale Women's Club. So if you're interested in showing up and giving your opinion and your ideas to, like I said, it's going to be grad students from Harvard that are going to be working with us to come up with new techniques and initiatives to go ahead and better fight crime and better engage with the community. So I think it's a good thing. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, or you know people that might be interested in doing that, please spread the news. But other than that,
Probably City Leadership Initiative.
City Leadership Initiative. What's the tagline there? On the front page, what is that?
It says, join us in shaping the future of safety in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. That being said, is there anything that we'd like to bring up that we can pass on?
The last one in May, what was the attendance?
Honestly, I just kind of got this one, so I'm not sure. I can
Okay.
find out that.
I'm curious because it's in the middle of the day. It's noon to 1, I think it says. And it's the women's club, which is, there's not a lot of parking. So
So the last one was at Holiday Park at night, and there was not a lot of people.
it was like,
There was
Not a lot of police.
not a lot of attendees.
No.
All right.
I just think in terms of doing a study
Right.
at that level,
you know, you would have it in a more, it's not, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the promoter, but that they would have it in a more convenient time and location. You're gonna get community
I'll pass it
involvement.
up, I mean, that's why we're here, obviously to get
Right.
feedback from the community, so we'll bring that up and we'll just say, hey, that being said, you got one on June 20th. Is there any way for us to either change the time or create a second one, especially now that we're reaching out to you all, if they can change the time and location?
I know they're probably doing a workshop where they, you know, separate into groups, I'm guessing. But, you know, to have something, if you're gonna do that, better time would be probably get better response
Yeah.
and more data.
No, I agree, I'll bring that, I'll
Or
pass it up,
Zoom.
James. Yeah.
Sergeant, I'd like to just make a suggestion for you to kind of, your team think about and then possibly run it up chain of command. But as you go out to each of the neighborhoods every month, if the departments would develop, for lack of a better word, a CAN program, after you give the stats, a little 3 to 5 minute speech about, we're going to talk about our SWAT unit while we're here the month of March, CPA. You go around to every neighborhood association that entire month of March and you talk about whatever your CAN little, the next might be the homicide unit, and you tell how many homicide detectives you have, what's their caseload. That way you educate the public on all the different divisions within the police department, the horse patrol. Okay,
Mounted police,
what's that?
mounted.
Mounted police, you know, or 1 month might be, here's why people complain about, they see a lot of cars running red lights or going through the yellows, and the police car will be sitting there and won't stop them. Well, maybe because they're on their way to another run, even though it's not an emergency run, they're dispatched to run. I don't think once you're dispatched, unless it's a true life and death situation, you still have to go on that run. You can't do a car stop.
Right, no, I understand what you're saying,
So
no,
the
so
public-
definitely different,
Yeah.
so definitely like an education program where we could set up like a little presentation depending on
Right.
different units and kind of different topic every month.
Yeah.
Keep it quick though, because I know there's a lot of important things going
3
on,
to
but
5
yeah,
minutes,
3 to 5 minutes in and out, yeah,
And then
definitely.
you
for
use
sure.
it the entire month for every neighborhood.
Okay, yeah, for sure, I like it, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anybody have, well, first of all, did anybody in here go to that May 28th meeting?
I went to actually a couple of them. I think the June 20th is the last one they had scheduled and is roundtable discussion, and the public participation was very low in both of them. And when I'm looking at it, you guys remember about 10, 15 years ago, we did that Vision in 2035, where we had the roundtable discussions, things like that. This is on par with the impact that the community can make on how we do police it. So I was really surprised that we didn't have anyone from the leadership of the association that is the forum to talk about what we want to see about response time. How much time do we spend on, how much time is the officer going to spend
Yeah.
on homeless issues and stuff like that, and how can we look at it? Very important. If you can put it out there, anyone that's concerned about anything in your neighborhood should go to those meetings.
Okay,
Really
I know, we
important.
actually had a board meeting that night, the 28th. So,
It's-
I mean,
It's really worthwhile, and they're
Yeah.
trying to do it different times to make sure that
Yeah.
we get
that
a
was,
different
yeah, it
direction.
was kind of too bad. Well,
What actually do you talk about
I went.
at these meetings?
So I'm not involved in this, so I'm not sure, but so this is just something that they passed along to us that you said, so I think basically what they found out is they were not getting a lot of participation.
They had like,
So at this point, they decided to push it out to us. to make
if
sure
there
we
was
could
one,
let-
okay, in the District 3 at the YMCA roundtable discussion, we had 11 people from the community and 15 people from the city there. Holiday Park was like 6 people from the community, and they talked about, okay, what affects, okay, our response time, what do we want to see more of? Okay, do we want to have more, like Bill said, more enforcement, okay, off street, okay, what is it affecting, how can we do it faster? How much response time do we have on homeless, and then it's like, what would you like to see, how we can change it, right? Would it be that we have larger substations somewhere? There was all kinds of ideas that people would collect. I mean, it's like, I would have expected you to be there. Because it's like right in line with what you normally look at, you know? So if there's anyone in your community has any concerns or has an opinion about something, and we all do, they really should be out there to talk about it.
Andre, could you take the sponsored page off so that way I can see the whole people? I think there's a lot of people on,
Lots of hands.
so we have a lot of people, I see a lot of hands raised on Zoom, so we're just gonna go one by one. Please make your questions concise.
I have a
All right.
feeling this is gonna be a big plug for why everybody should go to this event, but yes, let's go.
Okay, so Dennis, Omer, go ahead.
I was there on the 28th.
Okay,
There wasn't a lot of people. One of the things they wanted to know was if like in an emergency situation, if someone other than a sworn police officer could respond for like, like a car, say a car ran through a fence or something like that. And if you could do a report like over the phone,
okay,
things like that for a non-sworn officer response.
okay. Did anybody come back with, using the non-emergency number? All right, well, go ahead, Jackie, go ahead.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
Mary. Thank you very much. For folks that don't know, I live in Coley Hammock, and I want to know what the department is doing in reference to the noise on Las Olas, especially on the weekends, starting at 4 o'clock, zooming up and down, playing loudspeakers. I mean, it's horrible.
Okay, can you say Chloe Hammock?
Yeah, from
Okay.
some 16th Avenue or 17th Avenue all the way into the downtown. The big trucks with the speakers, the motorcycles, I don't feel like that's really being addressed or enforced.
Okay, so we do have a plan going on with that where we do try to address the vehicle noise. I don't work that particular area. I'm sure it extends there, but for my focus, it's mostly been on the beach and like Sunrise Boulevard. But I mean, I have to imagine it extends all the way down to Las Olas. So what's happening is we are writing hundreds of citations a month with that, but it is becoming a thing where we're getting a lot of like social media gatherings, the same way you'll see with car shows. Not only just like the vehicle takeovers, but you'll also get that when it comes to people riding. It's definitely something we'll work on, but I will push that specific area out to the command and to the other units in that area and see if we can get a little bit more enforcement going on for you for sure.
It needs to be addressed on Saturdays and Sundays, starting about 4 or 5 o'clock. It is so ridiculous. You can't even sit in a restaurant without being blasted. I mean, it's extremely loud.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that input.
Okay, and Christine Jones.
I'm sorry, my hand, I don't have a question. I don't know why my hand went up. Let me lower it. I'm gonna try.
Okay,
I'm sorry about that.
okay. And Maggie, do you have your hand up?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm from Sailboat Bend, and we've been having a problem, especially back in the condo area, townhouse, single family home area, and the west end of it behind the police station, where we're having individuals, trying to get into our cars, and there was somebody walking their dog at 5:45 a.m. that accidentally kind of bumped into one of these people, and they were stealing packages off the doors, and that was, I don't know, they felt very unsafe. They didn't know if the person had a knife, and they were kind of too close to them. And so it's like a chronic problem, and people in the neighborhood are saying that they don't call into the police anymore because they don't do anything. So I'm just wondering how we can address this. Can we get some kind of, I don't know if even if it has to be the police, but aren't there like citizen people that help at the police station or something? We need something to like get rid of this, especially if people are turning in photographs of the person from their ring and are saying what time it is. If it's, a lot of time at the same time, I just feel like, no one cares.
So Ms. Hunt, what I would encourage you to tell your the other folks that are talking to you about this and on Ring is you need to call the police and they need to report it. Now, an individual might feel like there's nothing being done, but what I can promise you is what we need to know is the ongoing incidents that are occurring. Some of these things are, they're being investigated on the back end. We solved one case, it has a domino effect, and it solves 20 others. But more than anything else, if we don't know that these crimes are occurring, we're not going to devote resources to that area to solve a problem that we don't know exists. So if they stop reporting these things, then it's going to be really hard for us to know about it outside of forums like this, which is great. So I thank you for bringing it up. I'll definitely pass it along. And
So now if
take another look at it.
if this individual has a picture and they didn't send it in, can I still send that in, and who would I send it into? Or can they?
So if you if we get an email address, I'll get it from Mary, and we'll get contact with you, and we can just send you like because of this forum and this relationship, we can just kind of grab it from you, and we'll create a case and send it up to the detectives for you. But in general, if a person was just like, I have this piece of evidence, how would I go ahead and submit it? All you would have to do is either call the non-emergency number to go ahead and get an officer to come out. And what we would do is we would write something, even if it was third-hand information, so you're not necessarily the victim and we don't even know exactly where we would go with that. We would just take your name and take the photo or the video and send it over to the property crimes unit and say something like, hey, this is a suspicious incident where they heard about yada, 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 3 times removed, but maybe this is, the piece of evidence that's going to break the case for something else. The zone detective that would be investigating those cases will take a look at the picture, and they'll hold it into their investigation and see what comes of it. So
like the only thing is about, calling and waiting for somebody to come out is like a lot of these people aren't walking their dog right before they go to work, and they can't wait an hour for somebody to come.
So for something like that, where they're trying to report a picture and they can kind of say, hey, what I would ask is that they do their best to kind of remember details. I'm sorry for taking a while, Mary, but I think this, if they're seeing any, they can recognize an address or a vehicle the guy was using. I'm not asking them to confront them, but any details matter. But what they could do is just say, hey, I have a photo of someone that was stealing a package. Please call me so I can submit the photo. We can text you a link. We can text you a link. Like you said, it might take a couple hours. Somebody will call you. They'll text you the link in the case that, not in the case that we're saying you're trying to report an ongoing burglary, but in the sense that you're calling late a few minutes later or a half an hour later to say, hey, I have this piece of evidence of a possible crime delayed. Somebody will call you. We can send you a link that you just have to select it from your photos, and it'll get uploaded to our evidence portal for us to look at.
And we do that through the non-emergency number then, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and Maggie, do you know, you guys don't patrol Sailboat or who?
Not Sailboat Bend, but we obviously know the people that do, so we could pass it.
When you have a meeting for your neighborhood, there should be officers that come that really, they really are watching over your neighborhood. Do you know who they are?
Well, every time we have a meeting and one comes, it's somebody different.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is the Sailboat Bend?
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, I'll solve that for you. Don't worry. We'll get the same person to show up.
Okay.
Also,
Okay,
one more thing, if I might add, really quick, Mary. Can I have?
Yes.
So we hear this a lot where, when we go to a lot of meetings, we hear the police, either didn't show up or they showed up and didn't do anything. If you feel like you've had inadequate police service, just like there's officers working 24/7, 365, there's also supervisors working 24/7, 365. So if you feel like you've had inadequate police service, you can always call back, probably call the non-emergency number would be best, and ask to speak to a supervisor and tell them what your issue is and have them explain, their side of what, whether it's wait time, you're waiting on the officer to get there, or you feel like the officer didn't do their job completely. The supervisor is always there to address those issues. So follow up.
And it can absolutely point out some deficiencies in our protocol as well. So we always appreciate that feedback. For example, maybe there was an issue with the call taker or the way that it was relayed to us. So we can get those incidents documented and identified. A lot of times we can weed out those problems so that we don't continue to have the same issues for other citizens. So it's important that that you guys call in all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Steve Pollock?
Seth had a question.
Seth had a question.
I'm sorry, say again?
Seth had a question.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Well,
Seth,
No,
go ahead.
no.
No?
No, okay.
Okay, he put his hand down. And their contact is on the website. So just so you know, on the council's website, their contact information is on there. And I think somebody made a good suggestion. I'm going to put the district reps emails on there too, so that you guys know, like Sailboat Bend is Vanessa. Christine Jones is for District 3. District 1 is Susie right here. District 2 is Bill Brown. So we'll get there. We'll put their emails, not their personal cell phone numbers, but their emails on there, just so they can look into things for you like this too. So, okay. All right, I think we're good.
Thank you. In
All right.
closing, please send your members to this meeting, because I think a lot of these kind of things can be brought up and solved, or at least looked at. If there's a time to talk about it, it seems like June 20th is the time. So if anybody can make it work, please send as many people as you can over there. I think it'd be great to get the feedback.
I do see one more question up there, Barbara McGill, and this could be the last question. Go ahead, Barbara.
I do not have a question. I did not put my hand up. I don't know.
Oh, I'm
why
sorry,
that is.
it's Seth. Seth, go ahead. Whose hand is that?
It's,
It's Seth's.
Okay, Seth, do you really have a question, or you just want to raise your hand and so we know you're here? I'm gonna.
He said he didn't have a question.
Okay, all right.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
good night. Be safe out there.
Okay. All right, now I want to introduce you to someone very important to our area. And I've just met her myself, Susan Leon, who is our Chief Education Officer. And just a brief introduction. We don't want to keep you out in the rain too long. So if you can come over here, then you're a little more on camera. And so Susan Leon.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. So happy to be here to meet everyone. I come to you after 40 years of public education. I started when I was 10, so say it now. I've been a past school teacher, administrator, principal, district administrator as well. So I come with a vast knowledge of the background of experiences in education, and I have most of that was in Broward County Public Schools, so I'm pretty familiar with their processes and how they work. My primary role in the city is to be that connection and collaboration between the city and the school district. So if you ever have any questions or concerns about anything that's happening in the schools, I know there's a lot of tension right now because they're talking about the whole redefining initiative, and I attend all of those sessions. We recently did a resolution at the city commission, which I shared individually and had conversations with some of the board members about it. So they have taken a little step back, and they're going to consider how fast they're going to move forward next week. But their intention is to include more community input and listen to what the neighbors in the community have to say about this whole redefining initiative moving forward. So if you ever need any assistance, please email me sleon@fortlauderdale.gov. For example, I recently got an email from one of the homeowners associations about a particular situation with the bus stop, and I was able to, reach out to my friends at the district that I know in transportation and got that situation solved. So I'm here to support you and just very happy to be here. So thank you.
Go ahead, girl.
Did you have a question?
Whatever happened to a joint city,
Joint use parks.
joint use parks? Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, this is like the project that never starts, never
That's,
goes anywhere.
Do you know about that?
So, well, I'm going to take a hunch based on my past experiences
Okay.
with my situations around that. So for example, a school has a form to fill out and they send it to us and they use our parks and we use their facilities as well. That is an ongoing, that's in practice right now. So you're talking about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marilyn, I can give you an update.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes, I think, the Parks Board.
We got the funding approved through City Commission 2 years ago.
20 years ago.
And it just kind of stalled. And Pine City Heights Neighborhood Civic Association has been pushing because Sunrise Middle School was one of the schools that was involved in that program. And it took months, literally months, knocking on the door of the park department and working with AECom, because they're the contracted management group for the parks for that bond issue. And we just saw after meeting for a year now. We've just seen the big drawings for our park.
Oh,
Nothing else has started at any other school.
thank you. There were like 17 schools,
There's a dozen.
a
Not
dozen,
yeah.
and they've done one in 2 years.
We haven't even done it yet. We just have drawings. It hasn't gone out to
I
bid
can
yet.
tell you that
Explain that.
everybody's disappointed in how slow ACOM is.
Yes.
They're very, not just the school, all of the projects. They're just, I never envisioned that they would be so slow. They're just slow. I mean, they're slower than government. I just don't know how to put it. They're just slow to get things done. Yeah, George, no laughing. But I mean, they are, I mean, I know that because I'm on the Parks Board and, you know, we bring it up quite often. You know, people are like, what? We're being asked by everybody, when are these, you know, joint use parks? And I'm very aware of where they are. And,
They get
it's
paid
just
by the
slow.
hour. They're a consultant. I mean, they get paid to not do anything.
They're just not fast. Go
You're
ahead.
referring to AECom when you say
AECom.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Jim or Mary, to your knowledge, you say it was funded 2 years ago and they've not really used that much of the
Right, it
money.
was appropriated. but-
Where's it
Yeah.
at? I mean, is it still there?
It's still there.
Still
And are
there.
we putting
Yeah.
money in each year's budget for it? Or is it a one-time? is
It's
that a
part of the
one-time.
bond,
It was a one
Okay.
time.
part of the bond. So
bond?
It was a,
all the money that was allocated to any park, be it joint use or any neighborhood park, is all right where it's supposed to be. It's just the work isn't being done. It's like the design just seems to like linger forever.
and the unfortunate thing is, it's, you know, Sunrise was a pretty big project, you know, 1.7 million. But some of the schools like Thurgood Marshall or what, it was like resurfacing the basketball court. How hard is that? And it hasn't been
know.
done yet. So it's
Only Part
crazy.
of the school district or parks?
Well, it's a combination
I
of the
think
school and the
Parks.
parks and
Yeah.
AECom working together. And they're also, you know, if I have to say, pat myself on the back, if we didn't push for it, we wouldn't be where we are.
Oh, you almost lost. a
Because
couple
the
years,
neighborhood
yeah.
has to push
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
I have a meeting on Thursday, I think it's about this.
Okay.
So if I learn anything new, I will
Yeah,
email you
let me
an
know.
update.
and there's a Parks Board
Now I know what
meeting
it's about.
next week from now. I forget now.
Okay.
Are you working with any elementary schools this summer? No.
We just finished up the board.
Okay.
We do have a summer enrichment program though, that's starting next week. Actually, some of the students are in training this week. So there are about 55 students that are going to be doing summer internships in various different departments in the city and at the parks, all part of the enrichment program that the city is sponsoring. We have hired teachers to work part of that program so that the students are getting academic enrichment as well as internships in various different areas such as HR and those kinds of things throughout the stuff.
So Georgia and I worked with North Fork Elementary. And North Fork had a phenomenal year. They went from being an F school to a C school. And they unfortunately, they were not really celebrated within the city for that, which I think is
Is
a,
that recent?
yes,
Okay.
yes, they became a C-rated school. And I think that's a phenomenal accomplishment for that school, for what they did. It would be nice to see the other elementary schools be able to achieve that.
Can you move the needle?
Collectively, everything that we do, probably part of the small part, but Walker is supposed to have moved the needle quite a bit too.
Yeah.
So I'm not faithful, so I can't tell you, but it just makes a difference when people go in there and help out.
It's little things. It's like volunteer readers, when there's opportunities from the community to come in and read. If there's, they have a need to have some organization with parent groups. And if it's providing refreshments for their parent groups or mentoring them.
Right.
That's been helpful.
Right, it is. A simple thing like refreshments is very hard for a school to do sometimes, so it's definitely supportive. Yeah, appreciate it.
Is this a question about the school board, this exercise that they're going through now? When I read about it first, they were talking about closing underutilized schools.
Correct.
And it shocked me that the first thing that came out of the box was, let's start messing around with Harbordale Elementary and Virginia Young, which
Right.
are oversubscribed.
Right.
So I don't understand what their real plan is. Everybody's worried about it.
Is it a Montessori school?
No.
Virginia Schumann
Virginia
Young
Young.
is the Montessori.
Yeah,
school.
Montessori.
We talked about moving the Montessori program
To
to
Bennett.
Bennett Elementary.
And
That got squashed
Yeah.
because the community spoke up, as they should.
Right.
And they listened. The former principal and I were both there at the meeting when they spoke to the board about that. But you're absolutely correct. And I will tell you that the plan that you were talking about is the superintendent that just left. So the new superintendent that just started, they've given him the last month to rework that plan. He's gonna present it next week. I don't think it's gonna look very much different, but they have several different options on the table. What they're looking at is the percent of capacity of usage of the building, along with the school grade, along with how adequate or old or outdated is the facility. These are the kinds of things that they're looking at to try to make decisions about what to do, because they simply can't afford to continue to operate the way they currently are. They don't have enough money to run all these schools in Broward County when there are not students filling the seats.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, just as a planner.
Right,
because the
you've got a
money's going to
school at
charters.
5%
Right.
occupancy, you close that school.
It's lower than that. in
You
fact.
don't go to Virginia Young,
Right.
take
No,
their program, put
agreed.
it in another another school.
School.
It's like we're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
Rather than put a new Montessori
Right.
in Bennett, they're gonna take this Montessori, put it over there, and they won't have a
They're not
Montessori.
gonna do that anymore.
Yeah, I understand,
but
but
I-
that was
and
their
I'm-
bad faith.
Well,
the
I
first time out.
video.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
That was very strange.
I was not involved in any of the
I'm not
planning of
planning.
any of that, but I do think that what was part of that discussion is that they felt that and I'm not, this is what was told to me.
Okay, I'm
The
curious.
neighborhood at Virginia Schumann Young is robust,
Mm-hmm.
and if they didn't have it as a choice school and it was just a neighborhood school, it would still be over capacity. And if they took the Virginia Schumann Young choice, which is Montessori, and moved it down the street, then those people that are choosing, which makes it over capacity, would be at Bennett, and then both schools would be at capacity. I think that was the theory behind it. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that theory, but that's what was explained to me. But as I said, the community spoke up, and they're no longer doing that.
Okay.
Okay, so
Anytime, send me an email, I'll be happy to.
I think, many of us, our children have gone through public schools and they've grown up and you think, but I mean, the elementary school in my neighborhood is what makes our house values, our home values,
Big time.
valuable because the
Right.
school is so good. Matter of fact, we moved there because of the school. So it's very important, whether you have kids in the schools or not, it's very important for every single neighborhood to have really good schools.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
It's been great to meet you, and we expect to see you from time to time with whatever update you wanna give us. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oh. Is that still Seth's hand up? Okay,
Well, that was Vanessa, I think, hiccup.
okay. All right, so, next on the agenda, we're gonna have, a presentation. Well, Glenn, why don't you just come up here so everybody can meet you? Hadwin is the Fort Lauderdale Sustainability Manager. But the presentation is gonna be done by Mallory Jones right here, and I was on another thing with her a couple of months ago.
March, yep,
You know, I know that time goes fast. And, okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go ahead. You have a presentation. So we're gonna go ahead through the presentation. If you have any questions afterward, then we'll get to those. Okay?
Thanks, Mary. And Glenn's going to pass out some
Okay,
postcard flyers. Thanks, Mary.
Okay.
There's a QR code that takes you to the website. Those folks who are watching at home, not to worry, the QR code is on the presentation twice. So first things first, I want to point out this is not a City of Fort Lauderdale program. This is a State of Florida ran program. It's called My Safe Florida Home. It kicks off approximately around July 1. It was a very popular program last year. They restructured it in hopes to be more successful this year with the monies that will be allocated for those who qualify for grants. So again, it's a state grant program, and we'll get into it. Next slide, please. So it is on mysafeflorida.com. Again, if you just take your cell phone and pull up the QR code, it takes you right to the site. The portal is currently not opened. Again, it opens around July 1, but there's tons of state resources on there. This is driven by Florida state statute, and it explains the two different opportunities that we'll get into within the program. And if you just click on that YouTube link, I'm gonna let the state share first. It's about a 1.5 to 2-minute video from the state, and then I'll finish it up.
If there's audio associated with this, we can't hear it on Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Should be a button, share.
Share sound, yeah, you just did it. You hit it. Start again.
If you're like millions of other Floridians, your home
you hear
is
it
your
now?
most valuable asset. The question is,
Yeah. Yes, Mary.
that
Yes.
asset from a hurricane in an affordable and meaningful way? Well, the My Safe Florida Home Program is the answer. It was created by the Florida legislature to help homeowners strengthen their homes and save money on insurance. Hey there, I'm Elizabeth Hart, here to walk you through all the important steps in the My Safe Florida Home Program. First, log on to mysafeflhome.com and register for a free wind mitigation inspection. You'll be asked for basic information like your name, address, and insurance details. Please have your insurance policy information available to streamline this process. Once you complete registration, you'll be able to access your portal for all the information related to your account. Next, you'll be contacted by an inspection company to schedule a certified inspector who will come to your home and identify current hurricane-resistant features and recommended upgrades to make your home safer. The main upgrades in the program are roofs, windows, and doors, including garage doors. After your inspection is complete, you may be eligible for a grant. It's important to know that this is a completely separate application process, but everything can still be done through your existing portal account. When you're officially approved for a grant, you'll receive an email with your approval, and then you'll be able to move forward by selecting your authorized contractor. Next, you'll hire the contractor to complete the upgrades you choose from those recommended in the inspection report. This step is the homeowner's responsibility to manage from beginning to end. Then you'll request a final inspection of the work completed. You must request this through your account portal. At this point, be sure to contact your insurance company, tell them about your home upgrades, request a discount, and you could see a substantial savings in your next insurance bill. The last step is to request reimbursement. Payment will be dispersed after the final home inspection is approved and all the paperwork is complete. The average time in the My Safe Florida Home Program is about 9 months. My Safe Florida Home. Stronger homes, safer Florida.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually, my department uses mandate.
I'll continue with the presentation. If you want to go ahead and jump to the next slide, I'll just hit the key points on it. Again, this is driven by Florida state statute. So yes, the as she pointed out, the wind inspection is completely separate from the grant application. And next slide, please. So you can log on, that's free. It has to be a single family or townhome. It has to be home occupied and homesteaded. Again, all driven by the Florida state statutes. And so again, it's a 3-step process: inspect, plan, and invest. Next slide. So for the inspection type, as I mentioned, single family or townhomes. Townhomes are eligible for grant opportunities minus the roof, of course, as it is a shared roof. And then once you get your inspection report, based on if you need a new garage, hurricane impact windows or doors, or any roofs, then you would move on to the next step. Next slide. So with that inspection, it looks like this. It's going to be the roof, about 4 or 5 components for the roof inspection. Whether that be additional reinforcement roof to wall, leakage proof for the openings, exterior door upgrades, impact windows, and garage doors as well. Next slide. So from an insurance standpoint, your wind policy makes up about a third of your policy. So if you have about 4 or 5 components that need upgrading, that could cut that policy almost in half and save about 14%. So essentially this program would pay for itself in the long run with your policy savings that you would have over the years. Next slide. So with the improvements, the state took this example, 2,400 square foot home, built after 2001 with about 15-year-old roof. These are the types of savings. I've highlighted them in black with the different improvements that would go towards that 14% reduction in your wind policy. Next slide. So here's the timeline. This is different from last year. It's kind of a free-for-all. Last July 1, the monies got eaten up in the first 2 weeks. This year, the state's running it different in about 15-day block increments. As you can see on the slide, it's accepted by low-income, 60-plus-year-old homeowners, to low-income of any age, then to moderate, and then finally, 60 days later, at the end of August, the program will open up to all eligible Florida homeowners. So that's different from last year. Next slide. So do I have to pay for anything? Down and dirty, yes. This is a reimbursement grant application. The homeowner does need to have the money up front. So if your free wind mitigation comes back with a report, and let's say you need approximately 8 impact windows, you would pay for that those 8 impact windows up front. Then, based on the Florida state statutes, there in green, you would get reimbursed for those windows. The state will reimburse up to a max of $10,000. Again, so the homeowner, at the end of the day, then the homeowner is responsible for about a third of the project towards the reimbursement. Next slide. So grant qualifications. Again, this state program, the state is operated off of Florida state statute. So the homestead is your property insured for $700,000 or less. You know, they're not going to do upgrades to $1 million, a McMansion over on the islands, obviously. Number 3, you have to be having inspections provided, must undergo an accurate inspection by a licensed wind inspector. And then another thing to note in purple there, it's the older home. So the home must have been built before January 1 of 2008. And then lastly, you would have to let them in for that final inspection, so the state knows the money went towards those upgrades. Next slide. So things to note, again, this I broke it down to what to do before July 1, on July 1, and after July 1 with the QR code that takes you to My Safe Florida Home. You want to visit and familiar yourself with the portal, determine if you qualify for the grant, and if you do qualify for the grant, what 15-day increment do you fall in based on your income and age. And then once it opens on July 1, you register, schedule for your free wind inspection. And then after that, you obtain that report and then apply for the grant based on your tier. And then I've dropped the Florida Department of Financial Services website, and then the state statutes that guide the program as well. And I got one more slide here. I want to do a little shout out for the Sustainability Division. Our other initiatives upcoming is the Net Zero Plan that will be, we're working on that now. We're brainstorming. We will be interviewing city staff department heads next month to get their feedback. The presentation will go before the commission in October, just before the elections. And then another sustainability point, conservation pays is the $125 rebate on your toilets. And I have the website there as well. And if you need any other information on that, we work closely with Broward County. It is a Broward County program. You can shoot me an email or Glenn and Jones@fortlauderdale.com. Are there any questions? Yes. Okay.
Couple.
Yes.
On the conservation page, there was a program that Broward County sponsored a number of years ago to install a smart sprinkler system because irrigation costs a lot and it can be a big part of your water bill if you don't have a separate meter. One of the things that they were offering was pay for the installation, the cost of and the installation of a smart sprinkler system. Do you know if that's still available? And then I have another question after that.
Sure. Glenn, do you know if the sprinkler?
Well, that would be part of the NatureScape program. Not sure if it's available, but we can look into it.
Yeah, we can touch base with the county tomorrow.
A lot of people get really high water bills.
Yeah.
And that would address that, especially, we're in a drought condition, maybe not today, in the next couple of days, but it could continue at some point in time. The second question, go ahead, I'm sorry. The second question I have is when you mention insured value, does that take into consideration wind, water, and property insurance? Because they're typically three separate policies. So aggregate could be at 700 or more, or is that what they're making that valuation?
Yeah, it's a combination of.
Combination of all.
Yeah, 700,000 or less total insured value.
Okay, and I guess a big question, because I know a number of people that I've talked to have asked this, if you do the free inspection and they require your policy number and your insurance company's name, do they report those findings back to the insurance company? So for example, if you need a new roof and maybe you need new windows and you're looking at maybe $75,000 worth of upgrades and maybe the new roof is really old, your insurance company might get triggered to say, you have to put a new roof on or we're going to drop your insurance. So
Yeah,
is
so,
it-
no, the state doesn't tattle on you if you don't do the upgrades. But if you do the upgrades, the state encourages you then to self-report to drop those premiums. But they don't turn around and report to your insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So, when this first came out, I got my home inspected. But I never submitted a grant. Would I have to have it re-inspected?
That was a question when we did I gave this presentation to SAB.
The homeowner has to come up with this money up front to do the work.
Yeah, it's a grant reimbursement.
Right, but I spoke with a couple of the representatives, the legislators who put this together. And they said that there was another program, a grant program available for low-income homeowners to pay for the upgrades, the upfront portion of the upgrades. Are you familiar with that?
Not off the top of my head, I can reach out to CRA. I believe there is a sister program, if you will, that for extreme low income, because they consider Broward County median around 80,000 actually.
That's about
median,
right.
Median income. Yeah, it'd be extremely low income program.
Yeah, well, that sister program is very important for a lot of really homeowners in certain parts of the city who just don't have the $5,000 for the windows, but they'd love to do it, but they don't have that upfront money. If they could get that grant money upfront and then get the reimbursement money, and give, you just push your money around between pots of money, but it's an impediment to really low income people to be able to participate.
Yeah, I think it's the SHIP program, but I
can't
reach
remember
out
the name
to
of it, yeah.
CRA folks.
There is another program, the property sensitive energy, which will allow you to do energy and wind related improvements. no upfront cost, so you could do that and still apply for the grant.
There you go.
You're
We
talking about
need
the
that
PACE
information.
program? The PACE program, which goes on your property tax bill.
Yes, you're right, you don't pay upfront, you repay.
Your taxes. But it does take first lien on your property, so if you have a mortgage, that could be problematic.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's a dangerous
That's
program.
different.
That's a dangerous program, especially for low-income people who are not sophisticated, but,
Right.
well, that's another
That's
discussion.
another discussion.
But this is a program that the legislators, I can't remember her name, she's the lady from Hollywood, said, when we brought the issue up, she said, there is a system, you call it a system, there is another program that deals with the fact that certain people just don't have that upfront.
Right.
And they probably need the improvements more than anybody else.
That would be run through the city's housing and community development.
Okay.
And then there's the SHIP, I think there is another one too.
I can email Heather and
Yeah, would you?
And Carlos, I have.
So I'm currently in this program, I'm just waiting for installation of my windows. It looks like it's gonna happen after July 1st. I've been approved.
Oh, you're FY 23.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So if it's, since it's gonna be after July 1st, do I have to reapply, or since I've already been approved, I should keep going?
You're fine. You're fine.
Good.
Good to know that it worked.
Is there a hand on, do I have any? No. No one on Zoom, okay, they might have had a hard time kind of catching the whole thing, but I know this is a popular program.
Yes, and I didn't really add that at the end. That's why they switched out the 15-day increments on who can apply, because again, last year the money was gone within 2 weeks. So the state has drug it out for 60 days to allow folks based on age and income to be competitive.
They were very proud of themselves for doing that, as they should be.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Wow. You know, several people that have done that and it's worth it, for sure. All right, thank that was him running now, you're running. Okay. All right, next we're on to council business. The first thing we're gonna talk about is recording secretary. Right now, we have a robot on Marilyn's phone being our recording secretary. It is a board position. We will not let the robot AI be on the board and vote, but if any of you, although maybe, I don't know,
I get two
not this decade anyway, but if any of you are interested or you have someone in your neighborhood, it would be interested, you would like to have be on the board, please reach out to me, because I know being recording secretary can be a pain in the neck. I've been one several times. And but still, it is an important position, and you're on the board and you're a voting member. So if anybody is considering it, let me know. Meanwhile, we have a robot taking the place, and let it be one less person voting on things. Yeah, AI, artificial intelligence,
so to speak.
Okay, no questions on that?
He said to see people's faces.
Okay.
Oh,
And
That's-
what?
That's everybody else.
Video.
That's just us with video. Nobody else has video.
They didn't choose to have
They
video.
chose not to.
Stay right.
What happened?
They didn't choose to put video on individually.
They're just not showing
Okay.
their own video.
Next, we're gonna talk about the sponsorship program. Actually, Andre, if you could just put that sponsorship page up real quick. I think I showed this at the beginning. I'm just not sure that everybody was on board when we did this. We have 3 sponsors right now. I know we have several in the works. And I know that the 2 that are not the Pelican family, Vanessa went out and recruited, and I think she wants to talk just a little bit. Vanessa, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I don't know if I think I heard correctly that you guys said we're not choosing to be on video. Is that what?
We're
You
only
guys-
seeing names, not
Right,
faces.
we don't have the option to choose to be on video. I've spoken to a couple other people that are on there, and we can't see who else is on Zoom, the names at all even. Just an FYI.
Okay, I don't know why that is. Andre, I don't know if that's something you can fix or not, but let him go ahead and work his magic. Meanwhile, if you want to talk about the Keys Teas, I know that was one of your successful recruits. Go right ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mary. So since they are our first council sponsor, I just want to give them a big thanks. The company is McKee's Tees Plus, and they were the ones who made those fabulous STP shirts. I think you guys, a lot of you saw at our last meeting that Ted and I were wearing, but
If you weren't here, they had T-shirts made by this company, STP, same 10 people.
Yeah. And Ted is wearing his now, but since we don't have video, he was supposed to model it. But so McKee's, okay, his name's Kevin McKeever, the owner, and he started and grew this local family-owned business with his sister Kimberly, and they're both Fort Lauderdale natives. Their company provides screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and dye sublimation. Aside from a large variety of shirts, they offer other promotional items, including business cards, banners, hats, bags, and more. You can see samples in person at their factory, which I went to when I was doing Bill Brown, when I was getting those shirts made. So they have like really good samples and all the types of t-shirts and stuff. So you can see them in person at their factory or on their catalog, which is available on their website, mckeesteesplus.com. And that is also on the council Instagram page. Thank you, Susie, for that. And lastly, Kevin asked me to personally thank the council for this opportunity to support our hard work, as well as the opportunity to engage in community involvement. So if you need to order shirts or other swag for your civic association, business, bachelorette party, or whatever, this is the place to go. I think it's important for us to support our local small family-owned businesses, especially those that are supporting our council.
Okay.
And also, I just wanted to say, I don't think we need to do this for like every sponsor, but I think it's cool that this was our first sponsor. And so wanted to give an extra shout out for them.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we'll use them. I also see the Fritz on here. I've been here to that bar myself. It's very nice. It is in Tarpon River. They have supported Tarpon River quite a bit and had a lot of their events there along with the food truck. I mean, it's a pretty cool place to go. So if you ever find yourself in Tarpon River and want a drink and some good company, the bartenders in there are really nice. I can say that myself.
Their menu for their cocktails are named after our neighborhoods.
There you go. Oh, I didn't know
Really?
that.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, go and read their menu. It's so cute.
No, we'll have to check it out. If it was just bigger, we'd have a social there, but it's just not big enough. The last one, the Pelican, you wonder why would anybody have this kind of weird bird on there when your last name is Pelican? People call you Pelican and Penguin. So that's a combination of that. And we are happy to be sponsors of the council because we love the council. So that's where we are. We're going to have more of these. And I really am so happy with all of you that are going out and, trying to make your friends be sponsors. Go ahead, James.
So Mary, if we go knocking on doors of different businesses in our neighborhoods, how much do we ask for? What's the?
It's $300.
300?
Yes. I mean, if somebody wants to give us more, that's terrific, but I don't expect anybody to do that.
Okay.
Right? And they'll be invited to these meetings and to all of our social events and the candidate forums.
There's a page on the council website too.
And
We're gonna bring that up right now.
Pardon?
We're gonna bring up the council's website and then you
Oh,
can
yeah,
see
there
it.
we go. And what else do they do? We'll have signage for them
CFLCA.
at all of our events.
CFLCA.
Oh, there we go.
CFLCA.
.org.
That's it.
All right, go to sponsorship. So if anybody wants to know where to go, it's our website, click on sponsorship. And it will be, there'll be a drop-down menu with an application and a description of what sponsorship means, what the costs are and what the benefits are for that sponsor.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Scroll a little further. Right there. Right, so you can see, I hope, can you all see that right now?
Can you?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
we can.
Good. All right, so
right.
those are the benefits of being a sponsor. And it's for a year, so you sign up, you're a sponsor for a year, you can renew it, when the year expires. And you have exposure to all of the things that are listed. So all the social events, the candidate forums, and our website. It's a great marketing opportunity for anybody that wants to do it, especially a small to medium-sized business. Yep, got it.
Okay, any other questions on sponsors?
Oh, you can pay by PayPal or check.
Oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and just so everyone's aware too, at least on we agreed that the sponsorship dates are going to be, what is it, April 1st to March 31st? So the sooner they sign up this year, the more, exposure they'll get
Okay,
for this, year.
all right.
It loses
Um,
value later in the
It
year.
does lose its value.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
we're
not.
kind of late in starting this year, so I don't know, I might rethink that a little bit, but for now, that's fine.
I think it's fine for this year. I mean, what are we in June? So, I mean, the people I'm talking to, I'm just saying it's new and it's, it's not like you're signing up for a whole year. And then, secondly, so I'm out of town, but I just wanted to throw something out there that I'd recommend that everybody watch the last charter revision board meeting.
Wait, Vanessa, let me
Yes,
get through
I
the
can't do
meeting
that.
first, and if we have time at the end, we'll
Okay,
do
well,
that.
I have
Realize,
to sign off.
okay,
I have to
Madam-
sign off, so I just wanted
Bye.
to say
Okay,
that
well,
because I
wait.
can't be on.
okay, well, hang on for a second.
Point of personal privilege, I think as a board member, we should allow her the opportunity, and I would make a motion that we jump off the agenda and allow her the opportunity
Okay,
to do
I
so.
second.
okay, so what Vanessa wants to talk about, because I don't know how clear that was to everybody, is the charter revision board.
Right.
And so, go ahead, Vanessa.
Yeah, it's quick. I just wanted to recommend that everybody watch the last meeting. I've attended 3 or 4, but it's shocking how much they're against community input and outreach and a lot of bullying going on. And I know everybody wants to participate and I just think you should watch it so you can see for yourself what's going on.
Okay,
Because
so
it's crazy.
the meeting she's talking about is on the city's website, and it's a charter revision board meeting from last Thursday, which would have been June.
Probably isn't on YouTube yet.
It is.
It is.
It is. It's on. It's on.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
on
not,
there.
On YouTube, yeah.
it's not
It
real
is.
long. I mean,
No.
a lot of times they were 3 hours long, but it's,
June 6th.
it'll hold your attention. We must put it that way.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Yes.
Vanessa. And thank you. I
That's
know
all.
you're visiting your family, so I appreciate you being on board here.
Yeah, thank you guys. So yeah, see you guys soon.
Okay,
So
All right, bye-bye.
great, thanks. Anybody have any questions about that?
Yes, I do. I found that particular meeting so egregious. My smoke was coming out of my ears. And it wasn't because of what Vanessa was concerned about, although I share her concern about the input. Doesn't anybody know how to count? Didn't anybody count backwards from the deadline, from where the stuff had to be approved and put onto the ballot? Didn't anybody figure out we better do this before 2, 3 weeks before it's required. You don't drop that stuff on the commission on the day they have to vote on it to get it on the November ballot. It's never gonna work. I mean, I'm sure there's blame to go around for everybody, and I really feel bad for you guys. You guys sat through all of those meetings, and you know they did good work. They may not have done the, the outreach that needed to be done, and I'm sure there's a lot of blame to go around for that, but I really felt bad for you guys, that after all of that time and effort that you put into it, that it was just a disaster. And all that good work is gone for 2 years. So outrageous. I'm sorry for you guys.
No, I mean, thank you. I mean, I think Jim and I appreciate that. And Maggie, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed the date. I want to watch that meeting. What was the date of the meeting?
It was Thursday.
June 6th.
June what?
June 6th.
June 6th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go to YouTube and type in Fort Lauderdale Charter. That'll come up.
Pardon?
Okay, thanks.
All right. I don't see any other hand up. Okay. It's there's a lot of companies, at least the ones I've been in, that if there had been some of that behavior, people would have been called out. That's all I'm gonna say. And watch it and then just judge for yourself. But also, I'm an HR person, so I'm very aware of those kind of things. Okay,
Jackie Scott says she has her hand, but it's not showing.
Jackie, do you have your hand up? You gotta unmute yourself too.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I don't know why I hit the little button on the bottom. I want to mention 3 things. Number one, as far as the sponsorships, I immediately wanted to sponsor, Mary. I called you and I just haven't followed through with it. So you can count on me as being a sponsor. As far as the Charter Revision Board, Vanessa's absolutely correct. Everybody has to watch it. There's a feeling amongst the Charter Revision Board that no one really cares in the community. I've been a big advocate for trying to get more participation. And I've told the board on multiple times as a board member, I feel like we're not doing the proper public outreach. I think that as it relates to the charter revision, we should be doing, or they should be doing, or we should be doing, the city should be sending out constant contact. I imagine that if you as a president or a person in the city got a constant contact that said, the Charter Revision Board next Thursday is going to be discussing whether we should go to a strong mayor form of government versus a city manager form of government, people would show up, right? Because you'd tell the exact topic. I have been extremely frustrated with the unprofessionalism of the chair as it relates to being nasty to people. And I don't mind saying this because it's all on video. So if you all think that bullying is acceptable, that's fine. But if you don't, please watch the Charter Revision Board meeting and listen to it and make your decisions based on that.
Okay, thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome.
And I'll consider what you said, but I don't mind doing that. But
it's not your job.
I can do that, but realize there are a lot of advisory boards.
Mary, it's not your
for this
job.
one, I have to do it for all of them, but
Mary, it's not the council's job. It's the job of the city directing the communication from the charter revision.
Pardon, I thought you meant.
I'm tired of hearing that nobody cares in the city and this is a boring topic. It is our constitution.
Right. Okay, let me get Christine, and then I think we're gonna let it go at that. Okay, Christine Jones, go ahead.
Thanks, Mary. I just want to say I did watch that review board meeting the other day, and I'm like, I can't believe how she attacked, y'all know who I'm talking about, Vanessa. She had literally attacked Vanessa. And, but I didn't know anything about the Charter Review Revision Board. There's no one on District 3 on that panel. We didn't know anything about it until I was brought into the fact that, hey, what's going on? So, but the chair, I got a mouth on me. So I'm in a meeting with her with that because, like I said, we don't know anything about it, but we should. But she shouldn't attack people like she did Vanessa. And I think who just got off the phone with me, she got on her about that too.
Okay, well,
Thank
yeah,
you.
please do, Chrissy, speak to your commissioner, because the person that is appointed by her, and was probably appointed pretty quick after she was appointed, I'm not really sure,
will.
does not live in District 3, so you might want to just check that out.
I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so moving on, and thank you guys for bringing that up, and Bill, for making me.
Thank you for
pay
allowing me
attention.
the opportunity to make the motion.
Okay, you're welcome. And yes. Okay, the Instagram page is growing, thanks to Susie. And people are sending her information too. Please check it out. You can ask questions or comment, or, think of it as Ask Susie.
DM Susie.
She'll be happy. Go ahead, Susie.
I just want to add, for those of you that follow, if you look in the highlights area, I save a lot of city information, and there's areas, just check out the highlights because it might be stuff that falls off after 24 hours. So I save it in case you want to share it with your neighborhood. It's just good information. And that's just like a little organized space where it's at.
Yeah, it's very good. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with the membership update, and when I do it, I'm gonna give the treasurer's report. Melinda couldn't be with us tonight. We do have 47 members. That's terrific. That's terrific. But here we're April, May, part of June, so we're 2.5 months into the year. I mean, thank you guys for being members, and really appreciate it. If we can just get 3 more, I'll just be like in hog heaven. So just 3 more. So I know that there's a couple that are just haven't had their meeting yet. So I thank everybody. So 47 members. Let's see here. How does she report this?
By fiscal year.
Pardon?
It's the fiscal year, it should be.
Fiscal year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the calendar.
Oh yeah, fiscal year. Pardon me. You're correct. I made a mistake there. So all right, the balance in our payment. This is kind of crazy. All right, our total as of 6/11, which is today, is $6,140.83. That's good. That's very, very good. And it's because we have all these members. This is not including the sponsorship. Oh, it is. And I think mine should be in there too. So, they're waiting for deposits from the last 2. My money, I was really good. I just paid it with my credit card and hid it from my husband. So yeah, so we're doing good. We should be doing good. I think after the break, Michael and I will be working towards having some socials. We are going to have candidate forums. That is next on the agenda. The candidate forums are at the LA Lee YMCA Unsis Trunk, like they were last time. You guys will hear about them quite a bit. You'll hear a lot. Ted will hear a lot. The candidates will be hearing a lot from me as we go on. The first one is August 13th, and the second one is September 10th. I don't know. It's right now we are only doing commissioners and the mayor. That's all we're doing. I don't know how I'm going to split it because I got to wait till June 14th. That's when everybody who's going to run for something need to have their stuff in. I'll figure it from there. Our moderator is Dan Sweeney. Dan Sweeney works for the Sun Sentinel. I've talked to him. He's very excited about doing it. I will give him the questions we had last time. A few of you have sent me questions to give the moderator, and I will do that. Anybody that wants to, can't be a jerk question, but I'll give it to them. They are key, and I don't know, he might even talk to Suzanne O'Brien a little bit. They do know each other, obviously, but I'm going to let him pick what questions. So feel free to send me, even you, any questions that you have. All right, just email them to me and I will include them. Let's see, what else do I need to say about it? So Dan Sweeney from the Sun Sentinel. Jackie, you have your hand up for the candidate forums?
I do, Mary. having
ahead.
been in that situation, if you just want to have a question and answer forum, that's fine. But if you want to really get the flavor of the candidates and give them the opportunity to speak more, you should let them respond to what other candidates say to them. And then you have a true debate versus just what do you think about the railroad bridge on 17? I mean, there's no railroad bridge, but that's just an example. I really, 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 it would be a much more robust situation if you allowed back and forth. Limit the responses to 30 seconds, but give people the opportunity to compare themselves when someone tries to throw them under the bus, whatever.
Oh,
Well,
I agree.
Well,
I mean,
I will,
otherwise it's not a debate. It's just a question and
Okay.
answer forum.
I will think about it. I like the idea. It also scares me a lot because you gotta try to, I mean, you have all seen candidate forums where it gets out of control.
The
So
other
let me
thing-
just think about it. I don't really want to bring my taser and dressage whip, but I do have those things.
Well, I mean, it makes it more interesting, but
enforcer.
the other thing, Mary, is that one of the questions I would like, I'll just tell everybody publicly, I would like every candidate, whether they're running for election for the first time or reelected, I would like to know what their position is on allowing lobbyists to lobby the city of Fort Lauderdale serving on advisory boards.
Okay, well, if you would send me that, just to make my life simple, I'd appreciate it. I see a lot of hands up. Let me go through them first. Okay. JJ, go ahead.
Hi, thank you very much for allowing me to speak. One thing we need to remember, we're not labeling this a debate. We're labeling this a candidates forum. A forum is very different from a debate.
Okay, well, that's food for thought. Right, I've been calling them forums all along.
Well, that's what it is.
So I have to think about it because let me tell you, it's no little task to put these together and to keep them under control. Excuse me. You guys saw the last time we had bells and a couple times I had to stand up and etc. Did not have to run up on the stage and rip the microphone away from anybody. I don't want to do that. But let me think about it. And I got kind of a core group working on this, and let us think about it. Let me see who the candidates are first. Okay. So, all right, and go ahead, James.
Do we know, or have you decided which is going to happen on which day?
No, that's why I'm going to wait till June 14th. Pretty quick. I just need to see the numbers. I need it to balance out. Let's say, well, right now, the District 3, there's no race.
Right, but District 4 has 4 or 5 people, right?
Right. And what's the mayor's race has four
or
people?
5.
4 or 5 in the
Five.
mayors and a
Okay.
couple in District 1, and I don't know about District 2, 2 or
Usually
3.
2 in District 1 and
Two
District 2.
and 2.
Yeah,
I know
so not
two.
too many.
There'll
So
be more.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of balance out number wise. Yes.
Could we also, there are multiple candidate forums in the neighborhoods. Can we also have those dates put up on the council's website as well?
Yep. Yes.
Sure. so
Yeah,
we have-
Absolutely.
we can meet and I'll put them on
Put
Instagram
links
too.
to it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. If your neighborhood is gonna have a candidate forum, I know Coral Ridge will, probably in October. For probably District 1 or whatever. Matter of fact, do send those to us. It'd be good if you can send them to myself and Jim and Susie.
Yeah.
All right? That way I know they get up, and if we see any conflict, we can alert you now.
That would be good.
Okay, because we don't want that. We want everybody to be able to have their candidate forums. And I went to a couple other neighborhoods, candidate forums as they came to our District 1 that Coral Ridge had.
Mhm.
So that's a great idea.
Is Mike Alvetta putting together the judges, what he usually puts together for the forum for the judges? Is he still
Judges?
doing that?
What do you mean, judges?
Not the judges, the
No,
Yeah,
they do
judges.
judges, yeah,
Circuit
the elections
court,
for the judges.
school board?
No,
No, he's
no.
not.
School board.
No,
Oh, that's too bad.
too many. I mean, that was tough.
I'm sure it's
It was
very
tough. We
very-
had like 30 different people go up on that stage. No,
Yeah.
it was 38 different people go up on that stage over 2 different forums.
Yeah,
And
but
Yeah.
as we have seen, it's the judges are very important.
they are.
Yes,
They are.
Yes, they are.
It's a lot. Somebody said we ought to have a third one. I don't know.
Well, Michael might do it anyway at the Y. I don't know. You know if he's doing it?
Separate from ours?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's a lot of
I
work.
mean, when you look at, we have 5 candidates for what, mayor? Well, actually, depends on what qualifies, and the District 4 has what, 5 candidates?
5.
So, and then
So
you
far,
have
we
2
don't
in
know.
District 2 and 2 in District 1. I mean, it's gonna be those 2 days, it's a long,
It is. It is.
especially give them time to open statement. 3 times 7 with the 3-minute opening statement, that's 21 minutes just right there.
Yeah.
And I like them to be able to do, I think that's important, so.
Maybe
I don't
we should
know.
Do it at a hotel. People could stay over.
There's no rooms at the Y, so no.
Is council paying for it?
Of course.
Okay, how we doing there?
All right, so the good news is the city's helping us. We don't have to pay the Y.
Thank you.
Oh,
They
good.
already step and repeat. The photographer is free. He's real tall. He's real nice. He's my husband.
He just had a birthday. He just had a birthday.
Yeah, he just had a birthday.
Me too.
Pardon? Okay. What was the other thing we had to pay for? Oh, I'm trying to get our IT
The IT
department, so I don't have to pay for that.
Mhm.
We might, I think I have to get police to come and watch the parking lot, because we get a lot of people.
Yes, you do.
We might be sitting pretty.
Yeah. You said you had the graphic program? This is step and repeat?
We do.
Is that the graphic program?
Yeah, why
Can we all avail ourselves of that information so that we don't have to go and do it? I remember last
Wait.
time you did the headshots and the
Oh,
bios.
okay, no, that's different than the step and repeat. That's the program.
That's the program.
We are gonna do them, not utilizing the same people. They did a great job, but it was
Yeah.
difficult. So, I know Melinda, I sent what we had to Melinda.
Okay.
I want her to take a look at it. If there's something she thinks she can do, great. If not, my daughter's a graphic artist, she can do it. But I would rather somebody else grab onto it. So let Melinda, she likes doing that.
Okay, yeah.
And,
She's
um,
good at that.
She's good at that, and she's good at using Canva, which is great than that. So I know how to use Canva. I don't want to do that, but I'll get all the information.
Okay, cool.
All right, and yes, we will let other neighborhoods use, why not? Okay, any other questions on the candidate forums? I hate to use the word debate, but let's just see what happens. Oh, this is very important. There's a city manager search.
Yes.
And Susan Grant is the acting city manager. She was at our last meeting. A citizens advisory committee is being formed for this search. The council we can have one representative on this committee, but the commission wants us to submit 2 names, and then they will pick from those 2 names. All right, I know.
What?
Yeah, I know. I know,
Why is
I
it-
know, but if that's what happened, so can't change that. They did it that way. And I've had an official,
Wait a second. When they had the commission meeting, they agreed that there would be a representative from the council,
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale City
Yeah.
Association. Where did this come from that they said we have to submit 2 names?
I've got a notice from the city.
Who, David or the mayor or who?
No,
Discussed by a certain commissioner that threw it out there.
yeah,
Oh,
It was District 4.
they wanted 2?
yeah.
2 names.
Wanted 2 names from the council.
So I make a motion,
Pardon?
President,
I
Madam
think you
Chair.
should pick one
we-
person.
we
I
put your
second.
name in twice.
But it,
Oh, you really do that? Please put my name in, Beth, please. I would love to be on that. Just so everybody knows, I have a 30-year career in human resources. I know how to,
I agree with Jim. I mean, just because they tell us to do something,
No.
doesn't mean we have
Yeah.
to do something.
just one name.
One name goes in.
Yeah.
You, that's it.
okay? Well, like just before, are you guys hearing that out in Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone else? I mean, I don't,
No, we should be represented by our president, unless it's
You-
too much of a burden
no,
on you.
I want to do it.
There you
Do it.
go.
Oh,
You
then
should
do it.
I want.
You,
I make a
the
motion.
council should decide who they
There's a
want.
motion on the
End of
table.
story.
There's a
Okay.
motion on the table.
Motion on
Second.
the table to
Submit one name.
submit one name, and that name is our president, Mary Pelican.
Yes.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
I second.
Well, it's been seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You live in Fall.
So you know, I've lived in Fort Lauderdale,
All my life.
well, since 1984.
Oh, that's a long time.
You've never been convicted, you homesteaded.
No, I've gotten away with everything.
Not a felon.
And
Are you
homesteaded
trying-
and, I got my own money.
Are you trying to say you were born in 84? Because I'm not buying it.
She's not saying that.
Okay, good.
Anyway, okay, okay, we've had a problem with the minutes on the website. We're not gonna try to, I
It's
know,
working now.
what, we're working on it. We're gonna get them out there. And, so realize we don't have a meeting in July. Happy vacation, everybody. We have candidate forum in August, candidate forum in September. Our next meeting is October 8th. And it probably will not be here. I don't think it'll be here. I think it's gonna be at the 101 building in our new space, which will be nice. We'll be able to park at City Hall. It'll just be like old times, sort of. So, you know, be aware of that. And after October 8th, the next meeting is November 12th. And then in December, we have a party. We'll throw a couple of socials in there. It's gonna be a good time. So, nobody has any other business?
I have one more thing.
Okay.
Last week was Code Enforcement Officers Appreciation Week in the city, and it went past the council, unfortunately. And we work so closely with our code enforcement officers, and they're so wonderful to us. If you guys have an opportunity and you have a code enforcement officer you like, please send them an email and just tell them you appreciate them.
Okay, not a bad, I love ours.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill.
Got one quick thing, George, you're the only one here left from neighborhood support, falls on you. Can you get us an update on where we're at on the city recognizing the HOAs? They usually send out an application that they didn't do it this year. Then you get it back by a certain date, you get the placard. Since now we're going back to city parking, garage, we probably should have those placards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the parking pass.
The parking
Yeah,
pass.
parking pass.
We had some staff changes internally, so that's why we're a little bit backed up, but Jordan's one. I have Jordan's a new guy that just joined us about 4 weeks ago.
Jordan.
Jordan.
You know Jordan?
Yeah, he was in economic development and a couple other places.
What's Jordan's last name?
Cass. What's Jordan's last? Cass something?
No, when,
Well, just send it to me when you find it.
this is right in front of me, okay, so I can see it on the screen, right, okay, so he has been with.
You know-
Teach you to leave early.
Yes.
Actually, I got a phone call from him to confirm my.
I got one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And George, is Junia okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I just wanna make sure, because I haven't seen her, I haven't heard from her, and I know she's, okay, that's all I need to know. Anybody have anything else? Anybody on Zoom have anything else?
Oh, you do have socials. I am a DJ. If just let you know. So,
Wow.
Shameless plug.
been a DJ for a
Wow.
while. I like to spend.
I'll remember that.
Okay, sponsor.
Where do you usually do your DJing?
Intercoastal and yachts and
Okay,
keys. Part of it.
Should become a sponsor.
I think I would like to, yeah.
All right.
go to the website.
We done?
Give me a credit card.
Meeting's over?
Make sure you signed in, please. All right, the meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a nice dry evening, except for those of us that now gotta drive home.
Right?